Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Axel and Pixel. Now with any luck whatsoever, we're gonna finish the story mode and the whole game in this recording. Like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Some kind of robotic arm? I just clicked on the first thing I saw. I mean, that's all you really need to do. We're on 22. Ooh, is this thing gonna pick me up? Uh, Listen carefully to the background melody. Repeating it will unlock the door to the Ice Giant's lair. Check music volume if necessary. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, this is a music puzzle and this is gonna not work great. It's not gonna work great for me in particular because I am not good at melodies. Hmm. So we know certain things. But I'm wondering if there's more things. Yeah, I think there are more things that I have to do first. See, I think I have to pickaxe this sign, this one free. Maybe I put the pickaxe on this. Let's go and break this. This is strange because this is, I think, the last sketch I needed. It's interesting, he's just holding his palette while he's sketching. That wouldn't ever work. Alright. So now I have all 7 sketches. Which, there must have been 8 of them. Because seems to me like there was supposed to be 8 of everything. Maybe they were saying that there were 7 more. So I missed one. I still feel. Okay. These puzzles are so silly. Let's see, there's something up here to throw. Is there another bug to hit? Well, there's a little... They're not bugs, they're like chewing goblins. Alright. And see, I'm clicking on a lot of things here and doing a lot of things. But did I know I needed to do these things? Not really. And he puts the helmet there. And see, we've got the yes. No, now I got the hat. So am I supposed to muffle one of these? What is he doing? He's polishing the rocks so they're nice and shiny. Oh. So this is some kind of light and sound puzzle. Let's look around and see if there's anything else we can do. So it's you can really feel that this implies like the game up to this point would have taught us light and sound puzzles, and that this is the big culmination of everything we've learned before, but it's not really the case. We had the bone puzzle, which was just really a matter of I don't know, what would you call it? It was just a process of elimination. Purple, though, is going to be an issue. Unless I can do this. Alright, so I'm going to have to, I think, do this, this, and that. It seems like there's a certain number of inputs and then it fails you. Done. So let's assume that this is blue in the middle. It looks purple to me, but let's just do this. Done. That is exactly it. So, to my eye, this looks completely purple, but apparently to the game that is blue. And see, that has to be the case because that this actually is purple, because the color over here on the trigger looked nothing like the shade of over here, nor does this purple here look anything like the blue pants on the main character, or the blue flame over here, or the dark blue of these trolls, or the bluish gray of the ice. I swear I'm not colorblind, game. Why are you making me think I am? Actually, I do those colorblind tests every once in a while just for fun, and always can see it perfectly fine. But I swear, some of these games, I think maybe the programmers might be colorblind and they make these color poses. I don't know why. So that was a pretty bad puzzle because of just being obscure yet again. And see, we're now for the big boss fight with the ice giant, which we saw at the very beginning of the game and haven't seen at all before. he could have been walking in the background of all the previous sections that were outside. Just being menacing. But he wasn't. See, just more weird surrealism. Okay, so quick time events. My hand was not on the controller. So we'll see if I can do this with my left hand. And see, this is what we started with. And see, this is just some boss fight, quick time event that you didn't need. Like, we did not need this at all. If other point and click adventure games had quick time events, they'd be so bad. Like, I'm so glad quick time events weren't even invented when most point and click adventure games came out. They wouldn't have worked because computers weren't consistent in how fast they ran. That's why point and click adventure games worked so well in the old days, as they simply were a case of action and reaction with no timing. Quick time events are 100% timing. And so I'm now trying to do something similar to like Shadow of the Colossus, climbing a giant monster, but my only prompts are these things. Let's see. I'm waiting for the prompt to pop up. And we don't really have any beef with this guy. Oh, darn it. I guess I might as well just put the mouse away. Obviously the game has yet again decided that the mouse is not important, even though most of the game has been played with it. And now I'll just use my right hand on the keyboard. And see, he tickles you, and then you have to use the quick time event. It's not like you're holding on, except for here, I guess you are technically holding on. And I think that was it. I think I've beaten the game. Darn it! Every single one of them. Every single one. You have to fail once. I'm not sure if the game is programming it that way, or if I'm just reacting poorly because I'm not anticipating it. I'm probably just not anticipating it. But it also seems like it gets easier after you failed the first time. Which, I'm kind of surprised. I'd be kind of surprised if that was actually the case, because that would require more programming than I think that the people are capable of actually doing. And these quick time events aren't giving me enough time either. I don't know where they're going to show up. I don't know when they're going to show up, although I should know that. And I don't know what they're going to be. And see, we can sit here for 5 to 10 minutes just trying to hit these keys. Is this what the game has been about? Not really. So why is this the culmination of the game? Why is this the final thing, the final test? There have been far too many quick time events in this game, but it's not been the main focus. There's been a few games that are 100% or almost 100% quick time events, and they're kind of cool, but you kind of need to know what you're going in on too. That's a heavy action that you would heavy action style game that you would only expect. And let's see, you're crawling all inside the guy to. Now, have I locked into a second stage where I don't? Well, I needed to. Come on. get it. And so what's he painting now? A giant ball and chain. A wrecking ball. That Miley Cyrus music video really ruined wrecking balls for the rest of all of for me at least, probably for a good few decades. Not satisfied with that ending. Not satisfied with any section in this game. And so he just paints the door with the magic wand, which he's gotten multiple magic wands, so he could have painted the door, I suppose, at almost any point. And let's just make sure there's nothing here in this generic background. And see, the idea that maybe this game was just to show off an artist's ability to make backgrounds is just a bad idea to make a game on, really. They needed to team up with somebody who could actually make a video game too. Plenty of video game makers out there release really hideous, like Steam Greenlight things, and with no art in them at all. I'm sure you could probably find one of them that would be willing to work with you. And so we're back into the real world now that the rat put us to sleep with the music, and then it was all a dream, and we knew it was all a dream in the first place. So the idea that this is the painting world doesn't really even make sense. And see, this is the very first scene that we were in, and it looks pretty much the same. And see, I bet I get a different ending here because I missed one sketch. So I'm missing one color, and I'm missing one sketch. So you don't get the final product. And see, that sketch and that. So, okay, I see. Each of these sketch fills in these different things. And so we got almost all of it. And then this concept's not terrible. It really isn't, as a just way of scoring your game. But it's pretty well thought out, actually. Instead of having 16 sketches, I got 8 sketches and 8 paintings, and missed one painting and missed one sketch. So not too bad. We almost got the masterpiece complete, and that was one of the achievements. Well done, the painting is almost finished, but masterpiece require maximum focus and attention. Axel is still missing something. There we go. And then we get the development team. And so we've already looked through the credits, and so I don't really want to hold to the credits too long here. It's a lot of, it seems to be Eastern Bloc. I would assume Russian, since Russia's so big. People worked on this game, and then somehow they got 2K to publish it and work with them. And I don't think 2K really did too much. It's part of a 2K Play publishing label, which to me implies that at some point they were going to try to get small independent companies to make games and put on consoles, particularly, or this was possibly before Steam Greenlight came out, and now that Steam Greenlight is out, there's really no reason to go with a publishing company if you're going to make a bad indie game. But if you're going to make, I suppose, a great indie game, you might try to do that. Oddly, it seems like even PlayStation is starting to go that route, and Xbox 360 had the Xbox Arcade online service which was full of garbage indie games, and these are very loaded terms I'm using, but it's true. So there's really no reason why you would try to get publishing with a big company unless they gave you some financial backing, some real support on QA, and really got it advertised and put out there. And No Man's Sky actually is a great example of an indie game that got way too much support from Sony, and because of that it was lifted to the eyes of players that probably shouldn't have ever even known it existed, and became a huge disappointment when there really wasn't much to the game. There's a lot of things that can be said about how No Man's Sky was released, but that is certainly one element of its failed launch and failed release. Similarly here, I think this game probably got too much support, and if it had wallowed on Steam Greenlight, I don't think people would have even voted it, or if it had sit around in early access while they worked on it for longer, maybe they'd do a little bit more. I don't like the idea of games being sold as early access and such, but I think this game was sold as early access anyways, so there's clearly more work needed to be done to this game, and a consistent through line of what kind of game it is, how the gameplay is going to work, that all the quick time events need to be gone, all the mini games need to be gone. It just needed to be a point-and-click adventure game, and I really don't care if it's simple. That doesn't bother me really at all. Let's see, 24 of 24, 7 of 7 paint tubes, 7 things. I got 663 scores, and I used 3 hints. That all together got me up to 3763. So I would need all 20 bones and the paint tube and the sketch, and I am not sure where I missed the sketch. That's the thing that's gonna prove close to impossible to do, is I would have to figure out which sketch did I miss. Because I kind of know I missed probably all 5 bones in this chapter, and I'm pretty sure I missed a paint tube in this chapter with the mini game, but I have no clue why I missed a sketch, so I'd have to potentially play the whole game all the way over again, just looking, or I'd have to go look up and something or other, a walkthrough, that's what I meant to say. Let's look at the mini games now that we've unlocked them all. So on the mini games, the mini games are different here. So you're trying to get as much points as possible. They want you to get over 10,000 here, and it's the same area. And then, did I just hit a checkpoint? Alright. Play again. So this is crazy. The idea of getting the 10,000, unless something happens that allows a combo to happen. I'm just getting 10 points each time. The big ones are worth 50 points, I suppose. That would work. But there's really no control. I don't see what I don't understand what I'm doing with the monkey at all. I'm still getting 10 points. That was worth 500 points. And this thing is moving faster and faster. And see, I got to 3,320 points. But do I want to play this anymore? No. Not for a second. And so that's one achievement. Again. Let's see. And I don't understand why there's a selector here. It's just because it's the same area. And then the next thing, I suppose... Oh, there's 3 different areas, so we'll try each one once, I suppose, and then we'll move forward. Let's see. Up to accelerate, and space. And left and right to get the right angle. And this thing was a mess. And there's no collectibles in this section of it, so that element is gone. And you basically have to memorize the entire route on all of these because otherwise you're not going to have a clue. See, I might make it and I might not, because you have to get this wheel, this rear wheel drive car on the ground, so you have some friction. And then after a certain point here, and I'm dead. And do I want to play it a second time? After a certain point there, you then also have to just drive on flat ground for a long portion of the game, which makes no sense. And we didn't even see this in the game, so they planned for more of this, apparently. But look at all the way this works. Oh man, you're never gonna get over all these rocks. Am I able to just go up a cactus? Like, this isn't a game, this is just cruelty. That's all this is. Like, this is ridiculous. And what's weird about this is it's not buggy. It didn't crash, it didn't lock up, it didn't do anything like that. And it's just not made well. Like, people don't understand what makes a game good at all. I suppose it is very possible that out there There are thousands upon thousands of games that never got to the release that were bad. Almost certainly there are. This feels like one of those games like that shouldn't have been released. But instead of it not getting released, they seem to focus whatever remaining budget they had to just make it run. And or perhaps this was in some engine. This kind of feels like Little Big Planet in just wonky physics and stuff, but there's some real physics going on here. This is, I doubt, just some cheap pre-built engine. If it's a pre-made engine, it's a pre-made engine that's designed around driving a car. It's like, and I can't even get over this rock. Like, no way. I can't do it. There's not enough room to get both wheels. Like, I have to do something like that, basically. And, oh, this is just so bad. Maybe this game bit the bullet and stops 3 other games from having mechanics similar. And see, there's no choice, I guess, on the boat ride either. So you were supposed to get 10,000 there. And then what's weird about the boat ride in particular is the boat ride absolutely won't work with a keyboard. You just couldn't do it because up and down with space is you would be moving way too slowly compared to see, and that was like a 500 points right already. I imagine I probably could get 10,000 points on this one pretty easily. I guess you can play it with the keyboard. It's slow enough that it allows for that, but if the boat was moving any faster, you certainly couldn't. And so that's the mini games, and that's those 3 achievements. We got it with less than 20 helps, almost certainly. Well, I could understand almost why somebody might use more than 20 helps, because they just don't have a clue what to click on. But all we elsewise got was just completing the story achievements, and we didn't get all the collectibles, we didn't find all the bones, we didn't get over 10,000 points, we didn't get over 42,000 points, and I have no interest in playing this game anymore to get up to that point. Those poor people on the leaderboard, who I assume probably didn't cheat because this number isn't incredibly higher than what the game wants from you. So I bet there's really no effort to get high scores on this. Those poor people that potentially struggled to get to the top of this leaderboard wasted their time. I will say this guy probably cheated, if we're gonna say anybody. Some of these other guys clearly did cheat, but they must have gotten kicked off the overall leaderboard. Everybody else's score looks good. 90,000 points. Wait a minute. Here's some clear cheaters. Here, I spoke too soon. Total score overall goes up to 90,000 points. But the story overall. Well, actually, wait a minute. That might work, because if the balloon score is over 10,000, which is what you're supposed to get, and then the car track number 1 is over 10,000. I mean, very few people have even gotten car track number 1 over 10,000. Only 2 people in the entire world. What happened there? Car track number 2, Car track number 3. Wow, so that achievement is probably one of the rarest achievements in the entire Steam library. If you follow this, the boating, lots of people got over 10,000, but not that many actually. Wow. Okay. And then the total score for the story and all the bonus, and this seems like probably full of cheaters, but whatever. There's something really, really weird going on. I am happy to just have 663 and but wow, yeah. So if you're supposed to get 10,000 points in the balloon minigame, 10,000 points in the car minigame, and 10,000 points in the boat minigame, unless this is cumulative over the lifetime of playing the game, nobody has these achievements. This one in particular, great driver. Nobody, according to the leaderboards. And very few people have great sailor or great aviator on top of that. So I'm really confident after seeing that to just see how much of a... I don't understand the 6 here either. Was there originally only 6 characters? 6 people on their team? But I'm confident to say the minigames are awful and just unbeatable completely. Well, that's it for this series. I'm very, very disappointed. Like, I saw a review that said this game was boring. I don't agree with saying it's boring. I would say it's obscure as can be. You just don't know what it wants or what you're doing. When something happens, it's not amazing, but it is at least slightly interesting when you throw a snowball at the ice giant at the very beginning and he moves out of the sun's rays, and then you can use the sun's rays to power a laser and start a fire. That's interesting gameplay mechanics. It's just how you got to it isn't good. The concepts of each individual room would have just needed to be tweaked a little bit so that there was an actual challenge and an actual indication. If this game just had the ability to look at something first, like old point-and-click adventure games used to have, they used to have verbs where you'd pick up an item, you'd look at it, you'd push an item, you'd pull an item, you'd smell it sometimes. Those kind of verbs, if they were integrated into the system instead of just the one left click does whatever it's going to do, you could look at an item, the main character could speak and say, it's a lever, and then he could say, it looks like this lever controls a pressure valve. Possibly if you're standing around too long, it could say, maybe I should release the pressure from the pressure valve. You go to the door, which is really obvious to exit that area, and you click on it and it says the door is locked by some pressure valve mechanism. I have to find a way to open this door. Things like that to just tell the player. I have no idea who the target market for this game is. It seemed like it would have been a really early age simple point and click game. It's not super scary, maybe a little scary with the giants and the weird rats and stuff, but then the difficulty spikes in the gameplay and just the weirdness of everything and the obscurity of everything and the surrealness of everything puts it at a much later age range of an adult. But then there's no challenge in the game ever. Never any challenge except for in the minigames, and when it does give me challenge in the minigame, it's so challenging that nobody, according to the leaderboards in the entire world, can beat it. And that's crazy. That's over challenging. Well, I don't want to repeat myself too much, so to wrap up again, I'll say very, very disappointing. I was hoping for a lot more. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell, comment, and watch every second of my videos, because all of that helps me with YouTube and tells them that my videos are worth watching. If you want a friend or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, I have links to all of those services down below. Please do follow me on that. That helps me with those services also. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.